The first change in One UI 3.0 that I want to highlight is in gallery. Now, if you have a lot of photos, they would be separated using these black borders, which makes it a lot easier for you to distinguish between two pictures. This was not there earlier in, the earlier versions of One UI, and this I think is really great. They've also reorganized the gallery options better, so it's easier for you to find pictures that belong to a certain category in one go. So, all similar options have been clubbed together, so you don't have to go to different places within the UI. I think it's just better sorted. Now, in the earlier version of One UI, if you were to edit a photo, that is, if you changed filters or brightness or exposure, any of that, and hit save, you would lose the original photo and there was no way to go back. But in One UI 3.0, you can hit edit again and tap on revert, and that way your original copy is always maintained and you can always go back. And I think that's really good. And guys, real quick before we move on, your support is extremely critical for me to be able to sustain the channel and grow it even more. All I request you to do is drop a like, hit the subscribe button and that notification icon so you never miss a video from me. Anyway, let's move on now. Next, you can now find all the widgets associated to a specific app by just long pressing on the app icon, and then you can tap on widgets to just see what all widgets it comes with, and then just tap on add and it gets added to the home screen. So now you don't have to scroll through that huge list of widgets and try to find for that specific app. If you've been a dual SIM user, you would have seen two call icons earlier, one for making calls with SIM 1 and the other with SIM 2. They've removed that and now you have to long press. It's not useful, but it's useful to know this, and I think it's important that dual SIM users understand that. You can also long press on the video icon to select which video app you want to use for that call. I have a very bad habit of keeping my inbox or my messages clean, so I always delete messages sometimes a little too early. But with One UI 3.0, Samsung's introduced trash in messages, so now you can go back and retrieve that message if you deleted it accidentally. So before One UI 3.0, you could not lock the exposure manually in auto mode. So let's say you have a bright object, you tap on it, the exposure goes down to adapt, and then you move away and it goes bright again. But with One UI 3.0, you get this option to lock in auto mode, which is great. And now you can move your camera around, but the exposure is locked. And I think this would be very useful for some people who've been waiting for it. Now, we all know that Samsung settings are extremely comprehensive. There are just so many of those and it can get difficult to find what you're looking for. Samsung now mentions the popular items right underneath the category, so it does feel a little easier to find them. Now, in addition to that, they've really improved their search capability as well. First of all, you can now just, search for something like eye comfort, and whatever settings correspond to that will come up first. And you can change them from right here. You don't have to tap and go into that setting. You can also now type incorrectly and it'll automatically make sense out of it and propose the right combination of settings. And next, Bixby Routines has received a significant update too. Of course, the UI looks a little different, but it now recommends a lot more routines depending on your usage, which is really good. So if you've not been using it to automate your phone, I suggest that you do that. What's even more important is that when you're configuring a routine, you can now add constraints to what happens when the routine ends. So if you want to reverse certain settings, you can do that. And that's it, guys. Those were some things that I felt really added a lot of value to your smartphone experience and have been introduced in the One UI 3.0. Now, this upgrade did have a lot of other changes, like quite a few UI upgrade in terms of design and aesthetics, quite a few functional improvements that I felt corrected a lot of issues that they had earlier. But none of those really add a lot of value. Those are just good things to have. Some of them look good, some of them feel better. But these are some things that I talked about. They really change the way you use your phone. And I think they really add a lot more value than other things that I've not spoken about. Anyway, I hope this was really helpful to you guys. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. And as always, don't forget to drop a like, hit that subscribe button and that bell icon. I'll see you guys in the next one.